Hi, third graders. It's me, Mrs. Nosage. Today we're going to read Nia and the New Free Library. This story is written by Ian Lendler and it's illustrated by Mark Peck. For as long as anyone could remember, the little town library stood there. It was there so long that people stopped paying attention. The building got old, the librarian retired, and nobody noticed. Until one day, a tornado came and carried the whole thing away. No one quite knew what to do with the empty space where the library used to be. "We need a skyscraper," said the builder. "That will really put this town on the map." "We need a parking lot," said the grocer. "That would help my business." But Nia had a different idea. "We need to rebuild the library." "Rebuild it?" said the mayor. "What's the point? No one uses libraries anymore." "Rebuild it?" said the banker. "That costs money and I can't spare a dime." "Who needs it?" said a distracted mom. "My son and I get everything we want online." "I'm on level 10. But Nia loved the library. She went every week to check out books. She liked cookbooks the best. Her favorite spot to read them was under the tree in front of the library. But it's hard to check out a book from a library that isn't there. That's when Nia had an idea. She got a desk and a chair and a pencil and some paper and a plate of orange slices for energy. Then she began to write. It took her all day. It took her another day too, from sun up to sundown. It took her a lot of days, and at first no one paid any attention. But pretty soon she had written an entire wagon full of books. "Would you like to check out a book?" she asked the grocer. "How?" he said. "The library is gone." "This is the new free library," said Nia. The grocer was curious. So he picked up the book on top of the pile and began to read. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She lived in a shoe, P.U. "Hey," said the grocer, "you wrote this wrong." "I did?" said Nia. "Well, maybe you can fix it." She handed the grocer a pencil. The grocer started to write. "Excuse me," said the distracted mom. "My son's phone just died. Could he look at one of your books?" "Of course," Nia said. "This is the new free library. He can read any book he likes. This one is about Sir Wilbur, the bravest, most handsome knight around." "This is terrible," said the boy. "I can draw better than that." "You're probably right," said Nia. "Maybe you can fix it." As they made more books, more townspeople became curious and stopped to look. The town's detective saw the crowd forming and came over to see if there was any trouble. She picked up a book. "This was my favorite book growing up, and this book is the reason I fell in love with the sea," said the boat captain. But as they read, everybody noticed mistakes. "Arr," said the boat captain, "where the wild things roam, that's not the title. And that's not how Sherlock solved the crime," said the detective. Every time Nia simply said, "Oh, well, maybe you can fix it," and she handed them a pencil. Pretty soon, half the town was writing alongside Nia. "What do you think? I've never built a house shoe before. How are the sketches going?" "I'm on page 10. Everyone discovered the job was a lot harder than it looked. And that's how he solved the crime. "You're wrong. That clue was a red herring." "There was a fish in the story?" "I'm confused." But they began to remember words and ideas that had inspired them. "Like hope springing high, still I'll rise. I love poems about bread." Pretty soon, there were enormous piles of freshly written books, books of adventure and poetry, and filled with every idea ever imagined. There were so many books that they spilled into the road and stopped traffic. Said Nia, if only there was some better way to organize them. I've got empty crates we could use as shelves, said the grocer. If it rains, the books will get wet, said the builder. I'll make some walls and a roof to protect them. And we'll need lions, said the banker. A good library has to have lions in front. I'll get the two for my bank. Pretty soon, the entire town was lending a hand. There were people writing and drawing, binding and building, and sorting and stacking and slicing oranges for energy. What we need is an opening ceremony, said the mayor. So the mayor fetched her shiniest ribbon and her biggest scissors and her fanciest outfit, and she was just about to cut the ribbon so the crowd could shout, "Hooray!" when Nia said, "Wait, we forgot one thing." "We did?" said the builder. "We did," said the banker. "We have a library," said Nia, "but we don't have a librarian." Oh, the mayor looked around. Does anyone here want to be the librarian? Then, oh, sorry, down here. That should fix it, said Nia. Then the mayor cut the ribbon. The whole town shouted, "Hooray!" And the little town's new free library was open. Everyone crowded into the library to admire what they had accomplished. I decided to go for a classic feel with watercolors. There were kids in beanbags reading picture books, kids with pencils writing new books. In one corner, there was a knitting class. In another, all the grandparents were learning to use a computer. Everywhere, there were people sitting together, enjoying the cozy quiet of a book-filled place. First, we make sure it's plugged in. Meanwhile, Nia did what she had wanted to do from the very beginning. She quietly walked straight to her favorite section and checked out her favorite book, How to Make Stone Soup by Nia. And she sat down to read in her favorite spot underneath the library's tree. At least she did. Until the tornado came back and carried the school away. Sigh. The end. Thank you for reading with me today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Goodbye.